Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I have planned quite an exciting video for you guys. I will be sharing my first impressions on using the Faber-Castell Polychromos color pencils. And why it's exciting for me especially is because I have never used artist grade color pencils before, and I only have experience using student grade color pencils like Prismacolor Scholar, the Staedtler Norris Club color pencils, and probably some others like Crayola color pencils. And I'm an artist that believes in going for the artist grade quality if you can afford it over the student grade, just because I believe there is a much better payoff in the end. So I finally felt ready to invest in a quality artist grade color pencil set to start incorporating into my work. I probably should have opened this earlier just to check that there weren't any like broken pencils or anything like that, but I have read that the build quality on these pencils is really high, and I have faith that the pencils will be intact once I open them. So yeah, let's finally crack this bad boy open and see what we've got. Oh, finally broke the seal. Oh yes. Ah, lovely. All right, so here it is, all in its full glory, and it feels very nice and matte to the touch. All right, so are you guys ready for the reveal? Da-da-da. Ew. Ah, okay. Da-da-da. Okay, some informational pamphlets. I never read these, by the way. Okay, good to know. Oh, I could do this all day. Oh, this was really satisfying. But let's take a look at what we have underneath this little level here. Okay, wow, lovely. Already some colors are really standing out to me. This green is quite beautiful. Light phthalo green, very nice. I can picture myself using this one a lot. Actually, let's actually start kind of testing some of these out. Okay, wow. Honestly, it's very pigmented. It's very good. I'm actually quite surprised how well it covers the paper. I'm going to maybe take this cadmium yellow lemon here and see how well they do when layered over top. Ooh, that's lovely. And then let's take it to the orange realm with the dark chrome yellow and layer that over top now. Oh. And this is also very nice here. Cobalt green. Oh, I love my cobalts. Okay. So I know that the Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils are an oil-based pencil as opposed to the Prismacolor Scholar pencils that I've been using, which are wax-based. And from what I've read, basically the biggest differences were that the wax pencils are softer than the oil-based pencils, and therefore they're easier to blend and I guess layer together. But there's a caveat with that, in that they eventually create this like wax bloom, which honestly I'm not even really sure what that is, but I kind of figure that it's when you layer a ton of pigment over top, sometimes you just reach kind of a breaking point, and I guess that's what a wax bloom is. I'm not even really sure, but with the oil-based pencils, like the Polychromos pencils, apparently they don't produce that wax bloom, and you can maybe keep layering on indefinitely. So for me, that was really attractive as a quality, because I really like to layer on my colors. Oh, beautiful. That's lovely. So probably the biggest thing I was worried about with picking up the set was the fact that because it is an oil-based pencil, the lead is apparently much harder than a wax-based pencil. And that for me was worrying, because I have a very bad grip with my pencils. My hand kind of locks up into this death grip with my pencils, and it just creates a lot of just stress around here, and also on my middle finger here. As you can see, my middle finger, I mean, every artist I'm sure has one deformed finger from drawing, but yeah, my middle finger here, it's kind of turned at the last digit, because I put so much pressure on this finger while I'm working, instead of just holding my pencil like a regular person where they don't have that death grip over their pencil. So yeah, with color pencils, it kind of exacerbates that for me, because you need a pretty good control when you're working, and also you need a fair bit of pressure. So that was something I worried about, but just upon my first kind of initial just playing around with things, I really don't notice a huge difference in the amount of pressure that I'm having to apply compared to the Prismacolor Scholar pencils that I've been using up until this point. The colors are they're flowing very nicely. They are quite buttery. Just trying to create some, I guess, gradients with these colors and see how they do. So yeah, I could probably kind of go on and do this forever, but you won't really be able to see how they hold up until I start making some art with it, right? So definitely stay tuned for that. Maybe transition into a grayish color. Oh, is there another? Oh my god! This whole time I didn't realize there was a whole nother, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother hidden platform. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so there are the neutrals. So the first thing that kind of stands out from this bottom hidden platform of pencil crayons here is this 3 metallic colors. And I'm just gonna swatch them out for you, even though I probably really will not be using these ones because I kind of find them gimmicky. I don't know, but maybe it'll prove me wrong. Let's see, here's this bronzy color. Yeah, already I can tell it's much harder to lay down. You just have to use a lot of force. And is it even metallic? Is it? Okay, there's a nice little sheen to it. It's definitely metallic, but I likely won't be using these ones very much. Same with the gold here. It's a bit more of an effort to lay down. But the metallic sheen is actually quite nice. Compared to the Prismacolor Scholar ones, these ones are actually maybe I won't write them off so quickly. And here's the silver. Ooh, the silver one is much softer. It glides a lot better. Oh, okay. That's not bad. Well, maybe I won't totally rule them out yet. So when looking for reviews on the set, the consensus was that the white Polychromos pencil is basically just terrible, and that you can basically just like toss it out and use a white from a different brand. So yeah, let's see if I will have the same experience. I'm gonna go over this area here. You know, it's honestly not that bad. It's lightening it up and smoothing out the texture. Honestly, it works in my book, I think. We'll see when time comes to actually work on a thing, but I don't hate it. Yeah, I think it kind of smoothened the look of these patches of colors here. So I'm not totally unhappy with that personally, but we shall see. So that was just a quick and dirty swatching of these pencils just to see what my kind of first experience is using these pencils. But the real test will be when I actually use them to make some artwork. And to help me with that, I'm using my sketchbook, and for the purpose of this video, I roughly drew in these characters, I guess. So instead of just dilly-dallying and doing a bunch of swatches that are kind of out of context, it's hard to see how they all work together, I'm going to try to bring these sketches to life with the Polychromos color pencils. First, I'm going to lay down a little piece of cloth right here so I can place my pencils down while I'm working, because my floors are quite uneven, and so if I just put my pencil down on the bare desk, it's just gonna roll right off, unfortunately, and I definitely do not want that to happen with these pencils. So I'm just gonna try to pick out the colors I think I'm gonna use for this lady here. I'm just picking them and setting them aside so I don't have to constantly look for them. I find that I always grab warm oranges when I'm working with color pencils. So I'm just gonna grab that whole row. And these pale colors are very handy as well when I'm working. So I'm gonna grab that. And let's grab some complementary blue colors for the warms there. So enough dilly-dallying, let's just jump into it. So I'm just gonna start by laying down a light base for her skin. This is just my regular old sketchbook. It's nothing special, but that's what's great about color pencils. You can pretty much use it on any kind of paper. It doesn't have to be fancy paper. I think I want to make her skin kind of very peachy looking. So maybe this orange here. What kind of eyes? Maybe this blue color for the eyes. Bring some redness to the nose a little bit, and the lips, and I want to establish just a base for her hair, but I don't know what color to use exactly. But maybe this, I'll start with this kind of beige-ish tone. I'm gonna have to readjust my work space a little bit because the pencils just keep rolling down into my arm and it's not leaving me enough space to work with. So that's frustrating. I'm just gonna maybe grab something. I'll be right back. Swap that fabric out for this one because it's a little bit more plush and I think it'll hopefully stop it from rolling a little bit better. God, that's infuriating. So let's pick up where we left off here. But I think I want it to be a bit more orangey than that. So sometimes I'm feeling brave and I don't even bother really swatching it. But the way I work with color pencils, I apply it so lightly to begin with that if I go a little bit too heavy or if it's not the right color, then I can quickly undo or reverse the effect. I like this orangey color for the hair. So yeah, already I'm really liking how these are laying down. I really thought I would have to assert a bit more pressure than I am doing, but really I am being very gentle and the colors are quite pigmented. Yeah, I'm honestly being so light-handed with this, but it is imparting a lot of color and it's very exciting. See, I want to go in with a brighter pink for those lips there. Actually, this set is missing something which I love using in the Prismacolor Scholar set that I have, which is a neon color. Yeah, there's a very neon pink color that I love using from the Prismacolor set. Let me try to find it here. See how bright this color is? I don't think there's an equivalent very saturated color in the Polychromos set, which is unfortunate, but you know, doesn't mean that I can't just bring this into what I'm doing and use it. But for this video, I'm only going to be using the Polychromos. But going forward, you know, doesn't mean that I can't, you know, mix my Prismacolors together with the Faber-Castell. So yeah, I guess that's fine. But do note that they don't have very neon colors in the set. So I'm just going in and defining the drawing a little bit more. Yeah, this is so pigmented, you guys. I am shook. I thought I would have to use more pressure than the Prismacolor Scholar ones because I thought the oil-based ones would be a lot harder, but no, I feel like it's softer than the Scholar ones. I'm just bringing a little bit of a gray color into those eyeballs. Actually, let's deal with some lighting. Let's throw in some darker values. Establish some shadows. Cool down that very saturated color there. Got a bit of a woodiness in the middle of this one, which is no bueno, but you know, still pigmented, which is good. Yeah, I hate the pencils that have that like kind of woody stock in the middle of the pencil. That makes it kind of difficult to use, and you end up kind of scratching the paper when trying to get some pigment out of it. That is a little bit annoying. Hopefully there won't be many with that though here. let's see, let's bring in a dark brown color. I need a dark neutral color. I can't believe I haven't picked one out yet. There, for those deeper, you know, to build up my values. I am jumping all over the place, but this is just kind of my natural process when it comes to these things. Let's bring in a brown color in the eye. And then let's build up our hair. Kind of like that color. I think I might use it on her like dress area. Again, I don't want to spend like too much time doing this, but who knows, I might get a little bit carried away and want to kind of, whoa, go all out with it. But if I start to have fun, I might spend a little bit more time on it than is necessary. Yeah, so far the colors are laying on very nicely. Oh, I feel like I have not much more to add at this point, other than, the colors are applying very nicely. I don't really know what else to say. That's probably pretty bad. This is why I don't really do like product reviews, since I feel like I have not much to add other than just showing them, I guess, what's possible or not possible. But yeah, my philosophy is always to not really read too much into people's reviews because your experience might be different. Always just try to get your hands on something and try it out for yourself. So one thing I'm definitely noticing with these pencils is it definitely holds the point of the pencil a lot better than the Prismacolor, since they're much softer, and that was something a lot of people had complaints about, and it's understandable because that's also something I kind of was annoyed with, because whenever I had to go in for those finer details, I always had to first stop and sharpen my pencil, and you could never tell if that point was going to stay or not, and you know, 50% of the time it would break after like one use or one stroke of a pencil. And so yeah, that was definitely frustrating, but I think these are definitely holding their point a lot better, and I'm not having to reach for my pencil sharpener to get that point back. Yeah, we'll see when that time comes. Oh no! No, we have a casualty already, except it seems to have survived the fall, but we shall see. Poor Hooker's Green. Aw. It seems to have survived the fall, but hopefully the pencil, like the lead inside, isn't broken. I'm going to try to adjust my setup a little bit because I am quite annoyed. I feel like I don't have enough space on my right side here, and the pencils are just dangerously close to falling off of the desk. All right, let's pick up where we left off. Yeah, I really love this color, this warm orangey yellowish color. Definitely a color that I often reach for. Oh, we are not even in focus here. So whenever you want to speed up a little bit, you want to start kind of solidifying some of the lines. So I'll start doing that. I feel like I'm kind of missing a bright pink in this set. I think this is the brightest pink that we have, which is not quite bright enough for my liking. That might be a bit brighter, but it's also dark, which is not what I want. Maybe this purpley color. I think her cheeks are just gonna have to be kind of cream, like peachy instead of reddy. So I might be going a little bit heavy for now because everything else is a little bit more subdued. Let's bring in this lovely light phthalo green in as a nice complementary color for this very predominantly orangey red picture. Throw in some blues to break up some of that orange color. Doesn't seem as blue once I layer it over top though. I'm gonna start being a little bit bolder with my mark making just to kind of speed up the process a little bit. Since I ain't got all day, otherwise I would really spend all day noodling around, layering every color I can possibly layer, and it would look probably pretty cool, but I can get a lot more done quicker if I just committed to some decisions a lot faster than just nudging things around little by little. I want her hair to look like it's kind of glowing. So let's see, is this bright enough? Yeah, some of these pencils, especially this green one, they have that kind of wooden stem in the middle, which is disappointing, but I guess I should have expected that. I'm gonna maybe bring in this very limey, yellowy, green, yellow color on top of the hair there, because I feel like it needs a little bit of a punch. Tone it down a little bit with this kind of olive tone color. Yeah, the color selection, though there are some colors that I feel like I'm missing from the Scholar set, they're still really nice. There are definitely colors that I do not have, so that's good. Yeah, I'm just throwing in some blues up there just because it just breaks up some of the orangey color that can get a little bit boring. Kind of like this very olivey color to kind of bridge the gap between that orange and the blue. Maybe bring in some purples, because why not? Usually not very fast at doing the hair, but trying to speed things up here. Yeah, putting these like harder edges so much easier. It really feels like I'm like carving out the drawing. With the Prismacolors, it's definitely much more of a struggle, so that's great. Now I'll be able to put in the finishing marks of the pieces so much more easily. I feel like once I have some like different colors down, then it becomes much easier to see like what other colors I want to grab. So the initial like trying to think of what to put down can be a bit daunting, but just have faith in like your ability to improvise and work with the context given. So I don't really know what's going on with her collars, but you know, just kind of make it up. Make it up, it's just a sketch. I really like this blue color a lot. I definitely don't have this color with the Prismacolor set. I know I'll be reaching for that one often. Now to figure out her dress area, let's go in with a more saturated green. I have no idea what's going on with her collar. That's okay, just make it up. Maybe a purple color just to change it up a bit. I do think some of the pencils feel a little bit harder than others. Maybe that is something to note. It's hard to figure out which ones though, because I'm kind of mixing them all at once. But I still think they are so pigmented. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of trying to create like a shine on this fabric. Maybe have it look kind of like satiny. It's just a sketch. It's just a sketch is what I keep telling myself. As long as we get a general feel for how these pencils are holding up, and I think they are holding up mighty fine. Yeah, I'm really enjoying using them. And I guess that's pretty much all I can say. I was going for like a more ruffled kind of look there, but I'm like, nah, let's just go with a clean cut look. And let's try inching our way closer to a finish here. And I think what it needs is some kind of finishing marks, some harder edges to clean up the drawing. Define the hair just a little bit more. Give a little bit more care to the features. Make sure they are defined as you want them to be. The level of finish of the features have a lot of effect on how finished something looks. So just giving a little bit more care to the lips and going around the picture, making sure all the colors are where I want them to be. Just bringing in more colors that I see more all over the picture so that it looks a little bit more intentional. I want to separate that ear a little bit from the hair down here. It's a little bit too similar. So I'm gonna cool down this area a little bit. And actually, while I'm at it, bring it into these other areas. And I think we're pretty much on our way here. Pretty close. Yeah, it is, I think, easier to keep applying more layers with the Polychromos. I feel a little bit less resistance on the paper. I do feel like it is taking it a little bit better, but we shall see. This is just our first real dive into using these. I'm definitely gonna be using them a lot more going forward because I really enjoy the effect of using them over watercolors, and I feel like that's kind of been like a solution for my watercolor paintings because I was growing so frustrated with them because I feel like I didn't really have full control, but with layering these pencils over top, it gives me that level of control that I really was craving. All right, last few finishing touches. Maybe bring some purple in here. So I felt a need to bring some yellow into this corner. I feel like it kind of gives a little bit more strength in this area and ties her face together. And do I want to do anything? I might want to do a cast shadow underneath the ear there. Yeah, I think finally, do we have our little first sketch after all this time? Before I call this done, let's give her some freckles, shall we? Just very subtle little freckles. So, if I could say anything so far, I think the colors layer beautifully. I don't really have an issue with the layering or anything like that. So far, the only thing I'm kind of missing, I feel like there are colors that I'm not quite getting in this range so far. For example, I feel like I'm missing like a very saturated and bright pink, and it's something that I use quite often. And I tried using a bunch of different kind of pinks that were available, but it doesn't seem to quite compare. So there's one negative there, but it's pretty easy to just supplement whatever color that I might be lacking. Okay, so I should probably ease off on the freckles before I go a little bit too heavy there. Yeah, I really wanted the lip to appear like a much brighter pink than what is showing up now, but just not getting that saturation out of the pinks. But it's not the end of the world. All right, I think I am finally ready to call this done. So there's that one finished. I really like it. I think it looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. Not to humble brag or anything. Actually, I don't think that is even being humble. I think it's just straight up bragging. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I quite like how that turned out. And we'll see how the rest go over. Yeah, I really like that. It's quite lovely, the colors together. There's an elegance, shall I say. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Thumbs up. All right, gonna move on to this girl right here. Hi, it's Chris here, and I am just editing this video, and I realized that this ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be, and so unfortunately I am going to have to split it up into 2 parts. So if you want to see how the sketch turns out, then definitely stay tuned for the next video, where I'll also be sharing my final thoughts on using the Polychromos pencils. But with that said, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you will tune in for the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!